Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today we do the monthly how to build video explaining everything that you probably need to know about whatever new team came out for that month. And this time we have the true 4th anniversary team, the Dragon Haki team, which is led by Veldora and currently only has summonable mills because they decided to do a double banner instead of a triple. So, it is what it is. Is it depressing? Yeah, a little bit, but I gotta make the video regardless, so I guess we just have to pick some extra characters to put on the team. So, we're gonna go over charms and units that we can use to slot in this team and substitutions, and we got some sample teams for you at the very end, so I'll have timestamps for everything if there's something specific you want to know, but all subject to whatever you have available in your box. These are just examples and ideas that might work for you, might not work for you. Just have to make do with what you got. And if you have any feedback for me on these videos, please always put it down in those comments. But let's go ahead and get started. Okay, starting off with charms. What charm should you use and attach to the new Protector Veldora? There's a couple that I would recommend, and then one which is kind of like a far-off kind of third. But first off is going to be the 2-star charm, which gives you extra protection gauge by 20% on blue orbs. So that means that you will cycle Veldora a little bit faster, which will lead to more dragon orbs every turn, or ensuring that you can get a dragon orb every turn, and extra skill points from the stacks, and the extra 25% attack. So this is probably the second best charm we're leading off with, but it's also the easiest to upgrade because it is just a 2-star charm that you can upgrade into 3-star. The best charm that I would probably run myself is going to be... where is it? The blue skill point increase. There are going to be a number of turns, especially in the early part of the fight, where you want to use a couple different skills, but because you don't have that many stacks of Veldora, you're going to be short just a few skill points. I'd rather have the blues get a 40% skill point increase. That way I'm ensuring that I can send everything, especially on those turns where you're not sending all 6 orbs, you're sending 5 or something like that with the combo edition. Always ensures that you have as many skill points as possible. So this is probably the one that I'm going to run on Veldora. The protection gauge charm, again, is much easier to find and upgrade, so a lot of people are going to use that. And the third charm, since he is a water nuking character in a mills, you could use a water attack charm. So those are the 3 that I would really recommend. The water attack is a far distant third place. The protection gauge and the skill points on blues are much more important than having a 10% water attack. But those are the ones that I would use. Alright, in terms of orb changing, this is kind of a weird team because we don't need that many orb changers. The starting hand for the beatdown battle is 4 blues, and by using either of these 2 characters' combo edition skills, you could make those 4 blues act like 6, in which case you don't need to convert turn 1. And then after that, Veldora is doing most of your converting. He's changing 2 orbs to blue and 1 orb to a dragon orb. Emils has the future hand 2 orb convert to blues. So, honestly, you don't need any orb changers apart from these 3 characters right here. Gabiru can change 1 orb to blue. He can Ult Swap, which we'll talk about in the next section. But, quite honestly, one of the rare blue teams that doesn't need another specific orb converting character. But if you wanted other orb changing characters to fit with this team, the Fount of Wisdom Reamer that you can get for free gives a physical buff, which Emils is physical, can convert oranges, or if he's skill fused, he can change any 2 color orbs to blue. You could bring Warrior's Mind Guy, who's got the triple convert, plus the ult damage and guaranteed crits. So those 2 characters would work very, very well for this team. Or the Warrior's Mind Violet with her own orb converting, her own orbs become blues, and then her support buff as well. So these 3 characters are going to work really, really well in this team. Alright, next, ult swapping characters. Again, not a super huge priority because with the 6 dragon orbs, you're guaranteed to get your EX ult on turn 7 going into the nuke. So you could send ults along the way and not fear of missing out on them. Everybody is going to get an EX ult, so that's very strong. Gabiru Trishula has a built-in 2 ult swap to blues for water characters, so Emils and whatever incoming water character that's going to be summonable, they'll also be converted using that. That way, in case you do want to hold it for some reason, you can. But honestly, because you're guaranteed your EX ults on turn 8 by sending 6 Dragon Orbs, you don't need another ult swapping character. If for some reason you do want one, I mean, VOC Violet is going to work well for you, or Ogre's Pride Shuna, because they have triple ult swaps to blues. Both of them have 100% weakness strike for your team, which works well alongside their ult swaps. So those are probably going to be your 2 best options if you wanted to bring another one with also support capabilities. Alright, damage support options. There's going to be quite a few of them. This is primarily a crit-focused team. So characters with crit damage or crit abilities are going to be very, very valuable. First off, I mean, if you have her, the Tales of Collab Xion, guaranteed crits and 110% crit damage, is going to work really well. Other crit characters are going to be Warrior's Mind Guy, giving both ult damage and guaranteed crits. That works. The Warrior's Mind Violet has crit damage for physical allies and ult resistance down, so doing double work. Triple work even, because she's an Orb Changer as well, so is Guy. So those are options for you. The old 5-star Space Carrion does have crit damage, only a tiny bit, but hey, some is better than none. The free-to-play Warrior's Mind Xion from Warrior's Mind 1.0 with Guy and Violet, her skill fusion actually gives her 15% stacking crit damage for physical allies. That could go really, really, really well with Guy being around to give crit rate, or Xion for additional crit damage. Or you could do the OG Space Masked Hero, who has the crit and crit resistance down debuff. That's going to work well. Those are crit characters, however. Other damage characters, I mean, Emils already has so much freaking ult damage, you don't need any of that. But you could do physical buffs with Rimuru or Shizu or something, or someone else that has physical damage. You could do Shinsha with the ult damage and crit damage as well. Primal Demon Diablo, is Emils on Commander? I think he is. You could do that and Pierce, but you don't really want to Pierce this fight. Benimaru with the physical buff and ult resistance down, that would work. It's not as powerful as Rimuru's because it's not an AoE debuff, but hey, it's an option for you. And let's see, Commander Shizu, physical and EX ult damage, which you're already getting EX ult damage with the Emils, but you could always add a little bit more. That's fun. So those are some physical damage options. For weakness strike, you have Shuna, you have VOC Blanc, you have Summer Shizu right here. A lot of characters, if you have the new Violet and Blanc from Warrior's Mind, they're going to give double damage plus the control stacks plus ult resistance down. Like, those are going to be really powerful characters. If you have the new Lumi and the new Lumi, you can get physical damage as well from that if you don't have Blanc, maybe. There are a lot of characters, but what you're looking to avoid is Aegis, Pierce, and Synergy buffs, because the beatdown battle nerfs all 3 of those. So any other kind of buff, physical attack, ult damage, ult resistance down, weakness strike, element resistance, element attack, any of those you can put on Emils to nuke, or whoever your nuking character is, but you want to avoid Pierce, Synergy, and Aegis buffs, because the beatdown has like 80% resistance against all of those. Now, in terms of DPS characters, currently the only true one we have is Emils, and he's going to be very, very strong. Combo Edition plus the transformation, plus the stacks of his ult damage, 500% ult damage in total, and AoE means that he's going to work really, really well. But who else is on the Dragon Haki meta? So, Velzard is a support ult. so she's not going to do a lot of damage here, unfortunately. Milim is single target, Isis is single target. This Milim is AoE and physical. Her personal buff doesn't work that well because it's synergy focused, but it also has ult resistance down, so you can make use of that. So she can work as a substitute DPS. Summer Milim could work as an alternate DPS who's also AoE. And antagonist Shinsha, I guess? Yeah, I guess she could. Pierce resistance down on her ult, but I mean, we're not piercing, so we don't have to worry about it. So those are your top 3 AoE characters that are going to be directly on the Dragon Haki meta. As far as other AoE water characters are concerned, water is kind of in a weird spot right now. So let's take a look at the options. So support ult, single target. I think you're single target. No, you're AoE. So I mean, but he's a support ult. Never mind. You're a support ult. You're a support ult, and you're also shit anyways. Ooh, Protector of Peace Rimuru is an AoE, I guess. Fount of Wisdom Rimuru is an AoE water. Single target, single target, single target. AoE from Hinata. Like, AoE water options are not super great right now. So you're better off trying to find one that's already on the Dragon Haki meta, one of the Milims, or actually having a Mills. Alright, in the event that you don't have the Protector Veldora, so you don't have access to the Dragon Orbs, you need to just do a traditional 8-turn blue stacking nuke. There are a lot of options, thankfully, because blue stacking has been around for so long that we can make do with it. So the next best one is going to be the newest release after Veldora, which is Spirit Master Hero. Yeah, she's leading Spirit Master, but she's stacking magic attack and physical attack. She's giving charge type characters the heal and the vitalization, so you don't have to worry about ults, and she's going to work really, really well. Another blue stacking protector would be Ogre's Pride Benimaru. He is more Pierce focused, because on turn 8 he gets 100% Pierce power, which maybe you can use if you want to maybe overcome at least like EX2's 80% nerf. But he is still stacking ult damage as well, plus raising your skill cap and giving you extra skill points on blues. He can work. A better option, though, would be Renard, because he is stacking ult resistance down and weakness strike for everyone on their front line. Both of those things are going to be very useful and are not nerfed by the beatdown. So he's probably your next best option besides Spirit Master Masked Hero. Next after him, Primal Demon Violet. I mean, we're not really stacking with any Primal Demon characters right here. Visions of Coleus Lumi is giving synergy rate, which nerfs your damage. If you, for some reason, have Konosuba Rimuru, you're stacking 20% ult damage, I think. So, I mean, he would work. And then, all the way down at the bottom of the barrel would be Diablo or Warrior's Mind Velzord. So, I mean, both of them can work, but they're like the low tiers. So, the best options would be Spirit Master Masked Hero or Renard. And then, if you have any other ones you have available, then try those out. But those are the two best options. And finally, we have some sample teams, just a few of them, just to give you an idea of what you would be looking for. Definitely not all of the options available, but again, good options exist still. So this is the team that I'm currently running. Veldora, Emils, Trishula, Tails, Xion, Protector Piece Hinata for the crit resistance down and the physical attack, and then Warrior's Mind Violet for the insane amount of control stacks and weakness strike. So that's the team I'm currently running. I mean, if you don't have Xion, then you can bring in a different crit rate character like Guy or the Masked Hero. If you don't have Violet, you could bring a weakness strike character in like Shuna or Blanc or Shizu or something like that. Definitely substitutable. You don't need to do 300 million damage like this team does. Another option is to have Veldora, Emils, Trishula, and then the Warrior's Mind team. So Guy gives additional ult damage, guaranteed crits, which will enable the crit damage from Violet, the ult resistance down, and then the free-to-play Xion, even if she's not skill-fused, she does stack crit damage as well. So, I mean, that can work, and this will easily clear EX2. I don't know about Inferno, but EX2 should be your main concern right now. And obviously, again, swappable options depending on who you have available. This team, we're going away from Veldora now and to Mills. So Renard, EX Protector, again, we talked about him. Stacking Weakness Strike, Alt Resistance down does work. Rimuru is free. You could get him for free from the EX quest that is permanently available. So Growth and the Training, the EX character growth support. You can get him plus like 3 dupes of him for free. Very, very easily. So he being AoE, physical, and water means that everyone should have access to someone to nuke. Everybody. I don't care who you are. And then you fill up the team with supports. So we've got Guy again, we've got VOC Violet for the Weakness Strike and the Ult Swap. We've got the Hinata for the water attack buff for Rimuru. And then we've got free-to-play Prosper Rieger for another converting character and another Ult Swapper if you need it, if you don't have Blanc or something. So Weakness Strike, Ult Resistance down, physical attack, crit, crit rate and ult damage, Weakness Strike, water attack. Like, this team will work. Another option is to use the Spirit Master, Leon, and Masked Hero. And then again, Rimuru to nuke. We've got free-to-play Rieger, we've got free-to-play Tempest Elite Gobta for more converting, so we have 4 different Orb Changers here. And then we have the OG Space Masked Hero for the Rewind and her crit buff. Also an option. Probably will clear EX2, barely. Will not go any higher than that, though. And then finally we go really old, and we go Fount of Wisdom Diablo. The worst and oldest blue stacking EX protector, but if that's all you have, it's all you have. Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, again, free. We've got the OG hero, we've got Octogram Lumi, who's at least stacking ult damage. If she's skill fused, she stacks ult damage and AoE attack, which works because Rimuru's AoE. And then we've got 2 free-to-play converting characters here. So this, I don't know if it'll clear EX2. It might clear EX1, but you'll have to bring in some other characters if you want to do extra damage. But those are 5 sample teams, definitely just samples though. If you have better builds, then please, for the love of God, use them and swap some of these characters out. But hopefully this video gives you an idea of what you're looking for and what you should be putting on your team. If you have questions or concerns, let me know in the comments. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.